You guys ready for it? You guys ready for the most important thing when setting up your sounder? Is right here. Bam! This guy right here, guys. What is it, you reckon? The transducer? No, it's not the transducer, guys. It's where you place your transducer. Okay? The transducer is a transducer, like all boats. It is, the important thing is where you place your transducer. You see all those holes that I've been placing around the boat? Yeah. That is what matters. This guy positioning your transducer will mean all the difference between clear image and bad image. This is how I got my one set up on my boat. A little bit lower. And in case you guys are wondering, this is a Lowrance 3-in-1 active imaging transducer. I know it says up here a total scan transducer, but it's because I had the total scan, and when I bought the active imaging transducer, it fits on perfectly on the same bracket. So all I did was just remove the total scan and put on the active imaging. So that's why on top of this is total scan, but he's not. There's a big difference. The crystals under here, they're definitely much larger. They're much larger to the total scan. I don't have the total scan here because I got it in cold storage and I can't be bothered moving out. But the active imaging is deeper, thicker than the total scan. So that's it, guys. This is the most important thing when setting up your sounder, in my opinion anyway. Positioning this guy here took me 6 hours at the boat ramp, in and out of the boat ramp, you know, testing, going in, test it, pulling the boat out, repositioning, going back in, backwards and forward for 6 hours until I found the sweet spot. If I mounted it any higher, I would lose bottom. Before I even plane, I'll lose bottom. If I mounted it right at the base of the bottom of the boat, I'll still lose bottom just before I plane too. So what I had to do was mount it a little bit lower. As you can see up there, the crystal here, it is below the strakes. Now that is a bit risky, because if you run into over a log or structure, there's a chance, you know, you might hit the transducer. But then I'd rather make full use of my transducer setup than having it up and unable to see nothing. So this is how my one is set up to work on my boat. Every boat is different, all right, guys? Every hole is different. You need to find yours so that you can get the best clear image. Okay. Here they are. Wide Lowrance 12 live HDS 7 Gen 2. And yes, you guessed it, guys, this video is about my Lowrance setup and settings. I've been getting a few requests from you guys on how I set my system up. So today, with the weather being not so great, let's take this boat down the road and I'll show you some settings that I use. Welcome back, everyone, and welcome to my channel. Hope you guys are all doing well, staying safe. So enough talk. Let's get down to the water and do some water testing. See you guys there. Alright, guys, we're at the ramp. He's in the water. He's gonna do some water testing. So guys, if you learn a few things or two and you gain some tips or tricks or ideas from this video, don't forget to leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel before you guys leave. Alright, let's get into it. Alright, let's get these two fired up. There she goes, coming on. It's pretty clear. Got Got some fish there already. Oh, look at those big arches and there's a little bump here, guys. Not too bad. Got some big fish just below us. This is just at the boat ramp right here. It's a big groper or something. Big Queensland groper. Oh, bear with me, guys. I gotta put the canopy up. Getting roasted here. You'll see better too. There won't be much glare with the canopy too. Just give you a quick run up of how I got it set up on the boat. See here, side console 12-inch, and then I have the 7-inch. Obviously the side console was too small for the 12-inch and the 7-inch together to make them sit flat together, so I had to move this one aside and improvise a few little mods, dodgy mods to make it fit. Obviously obviously nothing professional, guys, as long as I just had to figure something out at the time. So it fits that way. It's good that it's on an angle too, so I don't have to look around, because the 7-inch, these are the Gen 2s, and they do have the screen glare, so if you look at it on an angle you can't see it. Not like the 12-inch, they got the new oh, what do they call it? It's not anti-glare, it's something, but you can view it on the side angle or with polarized glasses. But this guy, if you view it, you can see it only on a straight on. If you view it on an angle, you start to see glare, and starts to fade away a little, starts getting a bit blurry. So what I've done is, since this is sticking out a bit, I've custom a little acrylic. Yeah, I've customized this acrylic plastic. Just a quick, just a square shape pretty much, and I just made a few bends there with a heat gun, and it just sits nicely like that, flushed around, so that if I'm traveling in rough water and the splash, you don't get water splashing back at the cables and possibly cause corrosion at the back, which you don't want that. And there's already one at the front here, so that's pretty good. And I also have a LED bar here as well, on top of the side console there for the nighttime travel. A lot of people just travel through the night with no lights on, besides the normal standard safety lights, but I don't feel at ease on that, because sometimes here in Cairns, or it doesn't matter really anyway, you might run into a log floating in the middle of something, and I want to see the log before I actually hit it. So it helps a bit and gives me that little bit of ease, I suppose. Just give you that little peace of mind. Keep that little peace of mind there just in case, because you never know what could be out there floating, and you could just easily run into it when you're traveling at night. We do a lot of morning travel, going out fishing early morning, so most of the time the travel to the spot is always dark. So yeah, having a little bit of light shining at the front also works well. Oh, look at that, guys. Big one just coming out of the boat. Yeah, look at that. Ooh, big one. Now, for all the Lowrance people who have the Lowrance units, it's always good to make sure that you got the right transducer on your dialed in onto your sounder as well, because if it doesn't recognize the transducer, it will just accept any default signal, and some of it won't come through and some will come through. So let's say, for instance, you get 2D sonar, but you won't get side imaging because the wrong settings for your transducer is not set correctly. So to do that, let me show you. Okay, you go up there, click the home menu up here. Okay, once you press the home menu, you press this little cog up here, and then you go down to sonar, and then you go to installation. There you go. And now, since I have the 3-in-1 active imaging transducer, it already comes default as it is. Okay, you can't select it, it's already there. So here it says AI 3-in-1. So that means active imaging 3-in-1. So if you guys don't have the active imaging transducer, this transducer type, you can select it like these options here. It's white, It's highlighted in white, and you can select it, and then there'll be a drop down menu of which transducer you pick. And let's say that you got a total scan, you just select total scan and then save, and that's it. That way you take full advantage of your transducer that you have on your boat. Most of the time it comes default, but sometimes it doesn't. It just becomes that transducer type will just say it's unknown, then you need to change it. But if it's already default as it is, then just leave it. Yeah. So what I like to do in setting up my system is I usually like to have the side imaging on the bottom to make use of the full screen, and then on top I'll have my chart, my down scan with fish reveal on, and my normal 2D sonar, 2D chirp sonar. So first of all, to get to this screen, to get your customization, you go to you click your home button. I don't know why Bill's Marines there, when that's where I got it from, and bloody they put that in there. And then you go to add, and you can just select which chart you want, just pull them in. Let's say you want 4, and then you just select which layer you want. You want 4 even screens, two big ones on the side, or so on, and then yeah, you select which one you want, backwards and forwards, sonar up there, down there or something. And then let's say you want sonar down there, chart up there, 2D sonar, navigation. Just press save, and there you go, it comes up. There you go. And then you can customize all the like the water depth and everything by just pressing the power button once and data overlay, and then you can edit the overlay. Pretty simple forward. Okay, now let's just go back to my settings that I like to have, and this one here. Yep, there you go. Basically the units come out pretty good right out of the box nowadays. Depending, it doesn't matter which brand you get, they're all pretty good. Okay, for my 2D chirp sonar, I like to use just the general mode. Get a bit slack, and I can just use auto. Auto is it will auto change depending on your depth. So if you end up being in 20 meters, it will change to 20 meters like that. And since we're in 4.9 meters, it auto changes to 8 meters, so that it'll always, adjust your screen. Now there's some little, that could be prawns, I reckon. Sorry guys, fascinated about what's under the sound up. Oh, I say anything under 40 meters, I like to use medium chirp sonar, and anything above 40 meters, I switch it to high chirp sonar. Okay, so high chirp is a higher frequency, medium chirp is a medium frequency, and then you got your normal. Unfortunately, we don't have the low chirp, but it also gives you the option of the 83 and 200 traditional frequency. Alrighty, moving on, guys. Now, the middle one is the downscan imaging, and it's been overlaid with fish reveal. Now, with the new Lowrance update and with the new live units, I believe fish reveal will be available on some units only, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but I believe the TI2s, the Gen 3s, and the live and carbon units will have the fish reveal option. But if you have like the hook series or the other lower models, you may not be available to them. Yeah, so I'm not sure, don't quote me on it, but have a look. So what fish reveal is it just overlays the 2D sonar over to your downscan imaging. So you'll see the arches that usually you normally won't see on your 2D on your downscan. You'll see it now because you got the fish reveal option on. So it just puts that over to that. To turn on fish reveal, you select the screen, you go to more options, and you have an option here that says fish reveal. You select it. Right now I've deselected it, but you select it like that, and then once you go back out, you'll have the fish reveal options, and then you click on the fish reveal options, and you can choose what color the fish pop up. See, there's a good example there. See that little blob there? See on your 2D sonar, you see the blobs of fish coming through. It overlays that onto your structure scan as well, so you can see it there. So without the fish reveal on, you won't see those yellow blobs there. It will just be the bottom only. So that's a really good tool that Lowrance made. But yeah, either way, you still get 2D sonar. You can tell there's fish there anyway, but it just makes it easier to tell. So that's what I like to use anyway. Oh, it's there anyway, so might as well use it. And then obviously your navigation there as well. We all know the navigation is fairly simple. That's the bathy maps. Obviously the bathy maps doesn't cover the inside of the cans inlet here, like over here. These over here is navionics, so he covers more over navionics. So what I use is I use this one mainly on navigation, which has all my navigations and stuff like that. And I usually only when I need the bathy maps I bring it up, but if not, then I only have 2D sonar, side imaging, and downscan. So guys, to use your side scan, the basic rule is use it 3 times your depth. So for instance, if it's 10 meters, then you scan, we're in let's say, see, we're in 10 meters, then we put it to 30 meters left and right. That should cover it really. Now if you're wondering why it's black like that, it's because over there is a bit deeper. Now it could also mean that you've got your outboard blocking it as well. So right now I'm going to trim my outboard up, and there you go. See, once you trim my outboard up, the black's gone, so you can tell straight away that okay, my outboard's blocking. So usually when I'm scanning, I trim my outboard up to get the leg out of the way. So just remember that, guys. 3 times whatever your depth. So 10 meters, you have it on 30 meters each side. You can do more if you want. So 40. You can do 40. Then as you see, as you can see, it's starting to go a bit black. That's as far. Starting to go a bit black. That is as far as you want it to go. Okay. When you start seeing the black, you don't want to stretch any further. Now, you can do it if you want. You can do it like 100 meters. Yeah. Well, when I'm out the reef, that's what I'm using. But then, see, look what happens. See, it's all black. That's because the water's not deep enough and the cone angle cannot cover that range. It only covers that little range there, that little 30-40 meter range. So there's no point in stretching it out because you won't see anything. So just bring it back to about 40 or 30. 30 you won't see the black anymore. It's a bit windy today, guys. I'm filming and it might be a bit of wind noise. Sorry about that. Okay. Now that looks like wonky all. Now let's go down to some structure. So we all know the navigation there. It's pretty much navigation. Move that out of the way. There we go. See, guys, as we come up to deeper water, 12 meters, you can start to stretch your screen wider out. So as the water gets deeper, you can bring the screen a bit more and it will cover more. I'll tell you, it will have its limits, guys. All units will have its range distance limits. Lowrance is 100 meters max and you can't see anything beyond that. It's because of the transducer, and I'll explain more of that in a minute. You see how the fish reveal comes up there? See this little blob here? coming up there. The overlays it so you can see all the fish on your 2D sonar, on your down imaging. The reason why this is bouncing is because it's switching to auto mode. So if you don't want it to be bouncing, you just turn off auto. There you go, it doesn't bounce anymore. Yeah, so because you're in between 15 to 16, it's always bouncing. So here we are, we're just coming up on a bit of structure to give you a good idea. That's a crane. See the crane? It's perfect. See, on 2D sonar it just looks like a, you know, a big blob. But on the side imaging, you can turn the contrast down if it's too bright. Back to default there. There you go. That's where you want it. You can clearly see it's a crane, guys. Now, it's really important to make sure your contrast is good as well, because if the contrast is too high, it's too bright, and then it just blocks everything out. See, like I just changed there. You go to the auto contrast, let's say you turn it all the way up, you see it just looks like that. So auto's how it comes out of the box, which is really good. So you don't really need anything. Nowadays, like I said, most units nowadays come pretty well out of the box. Okay. And the same thing with the down imaging as well. You can use what palette color that ever suits you, you know. I like the blue. I sometimes change it to the green, or whatever works for you. A lot of it's all personal preference. A lot of debris on the bottom, so it's a good area to do the side imaging shot. See, there's a big hole there. Oh no, that's the crane coming up. See, a big debris right off the crane. I'm over the crane again. There you are. The contrast is good. Usually autos is all pretty good. Now, it looks fantastic there. Also on the 2D sonar, everything is just left on auto pretty much. I like to use ping speed max, all these settings. That's your noise reduction low, surface clarity low, and more options as well now. And yeah, the palette, you know, all personal preference. You can change it to blue, you know, it's starting to go blue there, yellow, white, you know, whichever color. Oh, pretty much whatever you like, pretty much. I got another question from you guys, from one of you guys, about my structure overlay as well. So I'll show you how to use the structure overlay. So I'll show you how to do the structure overlay. So let's just create a new image. So what we need is we need the chart and side scan. So we just select which option, let's say top and bottom like that, make it easier, and put side scan on the bottom, this on top. There you go, and then save. Alrighty, under overlay we select our chart options and you click on overlay and you hit structure. There you go. This has given me my previous tracks I did before when I was scanning. You can see there. So zoomed in. Now when I scan, okay, let's go back over that crane. So when I'm scanning, it will overlay the data. Okay, see the overlay in there. It will overlay what I cover onto the navigation chart. That's how I do it out when I'm chasing wonkies, so I don't miss any spot in between. I'll know exactly how much I'm covering. So my track before, this is what I covered. So I'm going over here to cover this white area over here. The beauty about this is that all the structure that you see is on there. Now you can save it too. So we zoom in a bit more, you can get a clear idea of what we can see. See that? All the structure comes out on the overlay. So we know exactly where we're fishing. So I'm just heading back over to, I'm getting a bit close to that pylon now, so I'm just heading over to the crane so we can get a shot of the crane. There you go. See the crane. And this way, you see the whole crane along the side there, and you can position your boat anywhere you like. So that's a really good tool that Lowrance has. Alright guys, I'm just coming up over this little wreck we have here. Now I'm just going to test the overlay over it so you get an idea how it works. There you go guys. You can clearly see I went right through. You can see the size of the wreck. You can see the you know, the area, how big the wreck is, and then that way you can position your boat in certain areas of that wreck without having too much trouble where it is and so on. So that is a pretty useful structure overlay for from Lowrance, which is it's really nice to have. You can also save these tracks as well and create your own map overlay, and then next time when you come out of here, you don't need to do the scan anymore. You just load it from your SD card and it's already there. So there it is without the structure overlay. So on your screen, my screen, when we mark a spot, you'll only come up with those blue mark spots, right? Then how to remove trail? Delete the trail. Yep. Okay. So that's what it looks like when I remove the trail. If you're marking spots, it looks like that. But then once you've scanned and saved your overlay, you go to overlay structure. You see, it's right there. See? Clear as daylight. That's the structure, and you can see where the water rushes around the structure and creating a deep gutter. Now you can park your boat up here or in the middle or up here or the sides. There's a few little other structures around it as well. That way, you know, it's fantastic, guys. It's called structure overlay. So yeah, like I said, I'm not sure if it's available on all the units. Obviously the Live has it, the Carbon will have it because I've done it on the Carbon. The Gen 3s should have it, and then the Elite TI2s. But yeah, the only way to find out if it's available for your unit is you can just simply click your chart, and you know, it'll look like this. Select your chart, and the structure overlay option should be right here. If not, yeah, it'll look like that when you select it. The overlay should be right there. If it's not, then and if it's not, and you may have an advanced option. If it's the Elite TIs or the Gen 3, you might have an advanced option or more options. And if it's not in these ones as well, then yeah, your unit may not be may not have that option. But that's also because you may not have the latest update. So just go to Lowrance, download the latest update. I think it's 19.3 now, I think it is, or 20 point something. Just download the latest one for your version, update it, and check again, see if you've got these new options, because they are really good. So the people who never updated their units, you're missing out on a lot of good options that Lowrance has put out for these new units, new features. So be sure to check their website out. Get the latest software, guys. It really helps. And also it fixes up a lot of bugs as well. It fixes bugs and all this stuff, incompatibility issues. So yeah. So now we're going to go back and check the shipwreck and see if there's any fish on the downscan and the 2D sonar as well, and put them all together and see what it looks like. Alrighty, here we go. We're coming up to the wreck now. Let's keep going. So we're about 10 meters, so we just bring it down to 30. There you go. Now I'm on 455 on side imaging. We'll do one pass on 455 and then one pass on 800 kilohertz. So you can see the difference. So here we're coming right up to the shipwreck now. Picking a couple of nice big fish, mid-water. And let's see if there's any bottom fish. Come on. Come on, shipwreck. There we are, the wreck's coming. And there it is, you see? It's the wreck. Okay. Nah, it doesn't show much fish on it. There's not a lot of big arches. That's a much better one here. There you go. Something real big one fitting on the side and just off a bit. It's not too bad. Okay. So what we're going to do here is, since the battery is only good for the reef anyway, so I'm going to remove the battery navigation. So I'm going to select one of my previous ones I use. Here we are. Sonar options. Okay, so I've got 2D sonar, downscan, overlay with fish review, reveal I should be saying, and side scan. Now we changed the side scan to 800. Okay, and the previous pass was 455 and we'll do 800. You see how it changes completely? Yeah. Now 800 does not have as much coverage, it's only limited, but we're in pretty shallow water, so it still covers. Now let's go over the shipwreck again. I've got my 7 over here as navigation. Yeah, and my fish finding over this one. Oh, there we go. Coming up with some fish there. These are fish just before the structure. So that's a good sign. You got fish before the structure. A couple of big something hanging out there. Fish reveals showing their back nice and solid yellow. So they're quite predominant. So it's quite big down there. And then here comes the shipwreck. There you go. Obviously looks pretty good. Look at that. Showing some pretty good arches now. Look at that. Fish reveal. 2D sonar. Fantastic. And the bone. See how it looks? Definitely looks better. Yeah, another shot, guys. Great. And some fish just hanging right off it right at the end as well. Yeah. So yeah, this shipwreck has a lot of fish on down there. Oh, look at that. A couple of big ones there, mid-water, quite a big school of bait. So there you go, guys. Those are my basic setups of how I use my Lowrance sounder. This is on my small boat. Obviously on the other boat that we do a lot of fishing out in the reef is our bigger tinny boat, and it's equipped with Garmin because Garmin is better for the deep water with the GT51 transducers. They cover far more ground. A heads up for you guys, in case you guys don't know, with my personal experience with Garmin and Lowrance, good unit, you know, easy to use. The only downside I didn't like about it is because when you get out to 40 meters plus, it struggles to get coverage in deeper water above 40 meters. 30 meters, under 40 meters is good, but then beyond that, it starts to lose signal, as in the Sidescan at I can only stretch it to a total of 80, and then it starts to go black after 80 meters side to side. That's a shame because I want to cover more, but I can't because the transducer is just not powerful enough. Now these are Lowrance's best transducer that they have at the moment. I haven't seen a new one out yet. This is their 3-in-1 active imaging. The 2D sonar can cover pretty deep water, up to 300 or 400 meters, but the Sidescan is limited to 80 max when you're in 40 meters or more. It starts to lose signal. The Sidescan, as you see here, the nice and white bits here will start to look really dark, you know, because it's not pinging back. The signal's not strong enough. So what you have to do is, what I had to do was increase the contrast to make it wider. Yeah, you see? Yeah. But now we're in pretty shallow water. It's nice and white on both sides. But to give you a better idea, if you guys watched, or if you haven't watched my wonky holes when I was searching for wonky holes near the shelf, I'll leave a link of the video up here right now. It will pop up. Have a look at that, and you can see in 40 meters that it's not as predominant, not as white, the two sides here, because it's losing signal. That's the easiest way to put it. As you get shallower to about 30 meters, it becomes nice and white again. So that's a shame. With the Garmin, with the GT51 transducer, we can cover 150 meters on each side. 150 meters. So that's almost double the coverage of my Lowrance. So that is a big plus when you're out fishing the reef. I like to stick to the transducer that's made, stick to the branded transducer. Obviously you can all use third-party transducers if you want, but it just costs more money, guys. Alright guys, just be sure you guys dial in those tips, especially your transducer. I can't help but stress, it is very important to get your transducer right. And then the basic settings are all pretty good out of the box, and just a few custom things here and there. That's the ones I use anyway, and you shouldn't have any problems finding fish, and your unit should perform just as good as what you see here. Remember, it took me a long time to get it right. Might as well go and get some sardines, stack up some bait here anyway. Alright guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. These are the tips that I use for my setup, and has working pretty well for me so far. So if you guys learned a few things or two, or it has helped you guys a little bit, don't forget to leave a thumbs up down the bottom, and subscribe if you haven't done so before you leave. And until next time guys, it's bye for now, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. See you later. Oh, I knew it. I knew they were there. Look at that, guys, they're big ones too. Straight in. Look at that, guys. They're all big ones. Not a single one caught in the net. And they're all going to be dead bait. Look how big they are. They're big ones, man. Look at the size of that. Perfect reef bait. Boat ramp next time. Snap yourself a couple of kilos of these guys just off the ramp here, or on the boat, as like for me. And take them out of the reef, man. Dynamite out there. Swap them for a few trout or nannies. They work wonders, man.